They said she was just a girl, 16 years old, too young to understand war, too fragile to carry a weapon. But history remembers her differently. She wasn't just a girl. She was the storm that shook an empire. Her name was Võ Thị Sáu. And on the day she faced a firing squad, she smiled because she knew something her enemies didn't, that freedom never dies. If you felt the courage of Võ Thị Sáu touch your heart, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more untold war stories. Your support keeps these forgotten heroes alive. Tell me in the comments what story, battle, or legend you want to hear next, because history still has many voices waiting to be heard. And now, let's dive even deeper into the echoes of war. Because the story doesn't end here, my friend. There's always another tale waiting in the shadows of history. Born in chains, the year was 1933. Vietnam was under French colonial rule. In the small coastal town of Barria, near the southern tip of the country, a baby girl was born into a world already wounded by occupation. Her family was poor, fishermen and farmers, people who knew hardship as well as they knew the tides. Every morning her father set out to sea, and every evening her mother sold vegetables at the local market. But the air they breathed was heavy, not with humidity, but with fear. French soldiers patrolled the streets, enforcing curfews, taking food, and punishing anyone who whispered the word independence. In that world, silence was safety, but little Võ Thị Sáu was never silent. As a child, she would stand by the road watching the French soldiers pass by, their boots heavy, their rifles gleaming. She never looked away. She stared, a defiant, unafraid. Her brothers used to warn her, "Don't look at them like that, Sal. You'll get us in trouble." But she would only smile. "If we stop looking at them," she said, "we'll start fearing them." By age 12, she was carrying secret messages for local Vietnamese resistance fighters. She would hide notes inside bamboo shoots or baskets of fruit. She was small, quick, and clever, the perfect courier. And by 14, she had joined the resistance herself, a girl with a grenade. It was 1949, and the French military presence in southern Vietnam had grown ruthless. Entire villages were burned for harboring resistance fighters. Men were shot in front of their families. Women were dragged from their homes. But for Võ Thị Sáu, fear was no longer an option. She joined a small unit of guerrilla fighters operating around Barria. Their mission: to sabotage French patrols, destroy supply lines, and protect the locals from oppression. She was 15, barefoot, thin, and armed with a single grenade, but her spirit weighed more than 1,000 guns. One morning she spotted a group of French soldiers marching near the market square, their laughter echoing, their rifles slung casually across their shoulders. She hid behind a wall, her hands trembling not from fear, but anticipation. She waited. She counted their steps. When the moment was right, she threw the grenade. The explosion shattered the still air. Several soldiers fell instantly. Screams followed, smoke rising over the quiet village. The French retaliated violently, raiding homes, searching for the attacker, but the girl was gone. Disappeared into the jungle. For the next year, her name became a ghost story among French troops. They spoke of a teenage girl who moved through the night like a shadow, striking and vanishing before anyone could see her face. The betrayal and capture. The following year, 1950, she was assigned to eliminate a notorious local collaborator, a man who worked with the French to identify and capture Vietnamese fighters. She was armed with grenades again, ready for another ambush. But this time, luck turned against her. The grenade malfunctioned. It failed to explode. Before she could escape, French soldiers swarmed the area. She fought but was overpowered, 16 years old, and captured by the enemy. She was dragged to a military outpost, her wrists bound, her face blooded, but even then she refused to bow her head. For days she was interrogated, beaten, starved, threatened. The soldiers demanded names, locations, codes. She gave them nothing. "Tell us who you work for," one officer screamed. She looked up, smiling through a split lip. "I work for my people." Her silence enraged them, so they beat her harder, but she never broke. They could shatter her bones, but not her loyalty. They could cage her body, but not her soul. After months of interrogation, a French military court sentenced her to death. A 16-year-old girl condemned as a terrorist. Côn Đảo Prison, hell on earth. They sent her to Côn Đảo Prison, a remote island fortress in the South China Sea. For decades, it had been a place of nightmares, where screams echoed through stone walls and sunlight rarely reached the cells. Her cell was small, cold, and wet. Iron chains bound her ankles. Rats crawled across the floor. Yet even there, she never lost hope. Other prisoners said she sang patriotic songs every morning, her voice echoing through the corridors. "Courage," she would whisper to them through the cracks in the walls. "Don't let them take our pride." Guards tried to silence her, but the more they punished her, the louder she sang. They had captured her body, but she had captured their fear. Some French officers began to speak of her with uneasy respect. One reportedly said, "If all the Vietnamese had her spirit, we would never win this war." The morning of January 23, 1952, the dawn came quietly. The sea was calm, the air heavy with mist. The guards came to her cell. They told her it was time. She did not cry. She did not beg. She simply combed her hair, straightened her prison clothes, and smiled. "I am ready," she said. They led her to the courtyard where the firing squad waited. The sun was just rising behind the trees. The world was painted in pale gold, almost peaceful. She refused the blindfold. She wanted to look her executioners in the eyes. "Aim well," she told them softly, "because even if you kill me, you will never kill Vietnam." When the command was given, the sound of rifles cracked through the island air, and just like that, the 16-year-old girl who defied an empire fell, her smile still lingering on her lips. Immortality. Her body was buried on the island, but her story refused to stay underground. News of her bravery spread like wildfire across Vietnam. She became a symbol of defiance, a saint of the revolution. Songs were written about her, poems, plays, even lullabies. Her name became a whisper of courage among freedom fighters. Today, schools, streets, and statues bear her name. Her grave in Côn Đảo has become a sacred site. Every year, thousands of people visit it, bringing flowers, lighting candles, and speaking softly to her spirit. Some heroes fight with guns, some fight with words, but she fought with something stronger: faith. The world remembers Võ Thị Sáu not as a victim, but as a reminder that even the smallest flame can outshine an empire.